Hi, we're back again, and now we're in our last session for the 2010 Lifestyle Summit Day 1. I'm sitting here with Craig Tschirpig from IPS, Superannuation, and he's just shared some tips for you to set up a self-managed super fund. So, Craig, the first thing people want to know is, what's the difference between a self-managed super fund and a retail fund?
Self-managed super fund is basically a fund that you take care of yourself. You decide what investments you want, you decide where you're going to put your money, how much insurance you're going to have in there, and you run it yourself, whereas a retail fund is generally bound by certain rules put in place by the trustees of the fund to make sure that funds are invested in asset categories, and everyone sort of gets a blanket insurance amount, which is good for the majority of members, but it doesn't allow you to tailor your situation as much as a self-managed super fund does. Investment choice is also a main driver for a self-managed super fund. You get to choose what investments you want, and obviously because you guys are all in Aussie Rob trading seminar, that's a big driver for a lot of your clients and people in the seminar today.
Great. So if somebody wanted to set up a super fund today, a self-managed one, what would they have to do? What's the first thing they have to do?
You have to find an accountant or a financial planner that would be able to set those up. It's a legal document, so it has to be prepared by a solicitor and then executed by yourselves, the members of the fund. And once you've got that set up, it then becomes fairly administrative as far as who am I going to bank with, what stockbroker am I going to use, what investments am I going to put in it. But obviously before that, you've got to go and get the money from your old superannuation fund. So there's quite a few checks that we do before we set a self-managed super fund up. How much have you got? Where is it? Can we move it? Are you suitable for a self-managed super fund? Once we've got yes to all those questions, then we get the documents off the solicitor, sign you up for that, and then you go ahead and run it as a self-managed super fund.
So what's one of the key benefits, or some of the key benefits of having a self-managed super fund as opposed to a retail fund?
The main one, I think, is that investment choice, the ability to over-insure in the fund. So especially for younger people like myself, we're not wealthy enough yet. We're getting there, but we need to have that large insurance amount to make sure that all our debts paid off and our kids and our families are looked after. If something happened to us. So the ability to over-insure and the ability to be fairly specific in your investments and be a lot more hands-on generally leads to a higher return at the time that you retire than just having it managed by someone who don't really care and you just see a statement at the end of every 12 months and that's good, and that's it.
So basically you're the one who can take the best care of your own money. So that's the benefit of having a self-managed super fund. Well, and that's awesome. So with the self-managed super fund, as you mentioned before, for lifestyle trader members, you can trade in your self-managed super fund, you can purchase property in your self-managed super fund, you can treat it like a bank basically.
Yeah, it's a bank that you can't touch because we obviously have to wait until we retire, but the way I describe it is it's like another person. You can do whatever you want in the self-managed super fund that you invest in yourself. There's a few guidelines, like you can't have related shares and you can't invest in loan money to members. But within those realms, it's basically another you that you do all your trading in, and you just can't touch it. It's a fund. It stays there until you need it, and that's generally at retirement or if you decide.
That's awesome. Well, thank you so much, Craig, for joining us. Craig will be here for the rest of the weekend. If you need any more information on setting up a self-managed super fund, you can get into contact with IPS and call them and ask for Craig and say that you saw him at the 2010 Lifestyle Summit, and I'm sure somebody in your team can help you out. We have one more session left. We have Lee Hersey on stage right now discussing another major mistake traders make. So make sure you log back in on www.lifestylesummit.com/blog, and I'll see you soon.